And welcome into another episode of Dan Tony Sports. My name is Dan Snyder, joined tonight by Dan O'Shea and Tony Casper. The original gents, how you guys doing?
Managing, coping.
Yes.
I am doing as well as can be expected.
We all are. Anyways, guys, we're going to have a pretty easy show tonight. Something that we're all basically glued to our phones checking for, and that's NFL free agency.
Yep.
Like, we're all just waiting to see what the next blockbuster trade's going to be, who the next massive free agent that's going to be signed is. Well, tonight, we're going to talk about tonight. Who's getting cut tonight? Yeah, a lot of players are getting cut very soon, I'm sure. But we're going to talk about the opposite of that and who's getting picked up. First, let's start, instead of free agents, with trades that have already happened. The couple big ones. The first one, that Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford and picks trade. Like, one of the dumbest trades I think I've ever seen. The Rams trading Jared Goff and first round picks to the Lions for Matthew Stafford. Stafford's good and all. He's getting up there in age. Taxes are really high in California. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. But yeah, Matthew Stafford, Ram.
I kind of get it. They don't have to give up a ton. They're expecting that their first round pick is going to be very late. They're hoping it's going to be number 32. And Jared Goff isn't that good. Stafford, I think, is a market improvement over him. And I think with everything else that LA has going for it, with the receivers, Cam Akers' emergence, a solid O-line, I think Stafford's going to have a career year. So they're going full win now, and they need to. They have come close, but no cigar. I'm sure McVay and the front office are not quite on the hot seat, but the seat's heating up, and they need to get a ring.
I'm gonna actually say that I kind of agree with O'Shea on this one. I don't know that it's necessarily a terrible move. I mean, something somebody told me is all trades are based off of the Herschel Walker scale. Now, if that's the case, I mean, you're talking about these picks. If Stafford's got 3 years left in him, you're calling them late first-round picks. They might as well be second-round picks at that point. Goff hasn't shown you anything that tells you that he can lead a team. Matt Stafford has done everything that he possibly can with the Lions to win games, and they haven't. I think he's got more ability to win games in Los Angeles. I think that the pressure is on McVay to find out if he's a flash in the pan or if he's the real deal. I mean, the trade kind of makes sense. I mean, that being said, I'm sure we're about to talk about another trade that made it look considerably worse, but I think that was because of the front office being better. But I don't see this as necessarily being a bad trade for the Rams in this situation. This is also a team that's made much worse situations and paid someone like Trayvon Austin a crap ton of money. So, I mean, this isn't the worst thing they've done.
No, you're right. It's not necessarily a terrible trade in terms of Matthew Stafford's talents. And Dan O'Shea, you've got some really high expectations saying that he's going to have a career year. Just looking at his stats, back in 2011, 5,038 yards, 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. I doubt he has that good of a year. That's insane.
Maybe not career, best year, but I think he's going to have a very good season. I think LA has all of the other pieces that you really want And that's why they made this move, because they do have literally everything else. And Goff, with all the tools in the world, hasn't made it work. I think they were smart in selling him while still being able to get something back, and what they got back was having to give up less to Detroit for Stafford, because there was still certainly a big market for Stafford. A lot of QB needy teams. I don't think Goff is good. I think he was helped out a lot by scheme and a lot by having a really good team around him, and I think you're going to see him struggle a lot in Detroit.
Let's be honest. He was helped out a lot by Cooper Kupp. Like, that's it. Cooper Kupp
And Robert Woods.
Well, yeah,
Cooks for a long time.
Cooper Kupp really carried him.
Can I reword
But when they had Todd Gurley at an elite level.
Right.
Let me reword Dan Arche's statement in the fact that it's not going to be a career year for him necessarily stat-wise, but it will be a career year for him success-wise with his team. He's never really had the support. He's had maybe one or two guys with him, and now you're actually give him weapons and a defense. Like, he's never had both. He's had one or the other, and this gives him both.
I mean, I kind of disagree with that, but I also agree with it in the fact that the Lions have had the talent. They've just never put it to use. Like, remember, they've had Eric Ebron, who's had monster years since he's left. They've had Kenny Golladay. They've had, what's his name? The wide receiver that they've still got there, Marvin Jones.
Yeah, Jones is a free agent.
Yeah, nope, he's leaving. And they're just not using Kerryon Johnson. DeAndre Swift looks like he's poised to be a monster in the NFL. It's not that they haven't had the talent. They've just been a terrible franchise. And I'm not disagreeing.
But you're talking about a franchise that they're most notable for firing their most winning coach. So obviously they're a terribly run franchise.
Right. And I'm not disagreeing. I don't think many people give Matthew Stafford the respect he deserves. Here's a hot take, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I think he's going to end his career, if it ends the way I think it will, he's going to end his career as the best quarterback to have never won a Super Bowl. I think I will put him ahead of Marino.
A hot take. Because, it's very difficult to win a Super Bowl, and they're expecting him to do that with 2-3 years max. I mean, it's tough to win one, and I agree with you. If you look at him statistically, I mean, granted, they've asked Matt Stafford to throw the ball 50 times a game in Detroit because they don't understand how game planning works. But, I mean, I think his numbers should speak for himself, and I would consider it a success if I was Matt Stafford if I make a decent playoff push. If you can make an NFC title game or win an NFC title game, that's success as far as he's concerned, because what has he experienced in Detroit? Nothing.
Two playoff seasons?
Teams. Yeah, but terrible teams, and when they're in the playoffs, nothing. Nobody can come through. I mean, if he wins a game or two in the playoffs, I mean, that's the best he can hope for.
Yeah. I think Matthew Stafford is a great quarterback. He's just been on the wrong team for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 seasons he's been a Lion. And they have given him all the tools he needs. The only problem is they gave him the instructions in French, and he doesn't speak it. So,
yeah. I mean, that's fair. In all fairness, he's paid his dues. He deserves to at least be on a team that has a shot. I mean, the Rams were in the playoffs, so he's got at least a chance to bring them there. Not to mention, you don't know what's happening in the NFC West. We don't know if Russell Wilson's going to stay there.
Oh, we'll talk about that. But yeah, 3 years ago, the Rams were in the Super Bowl.
So, I mean, at least this team offers them an opportunity that, like anything in Detroit, it's just depressing.
I mean, the Rams only got there due to the refs' help, but yeah, they were there.
Oh, believe me, I know. I use that on a Rams fan that I know all the time.
It was one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever watched, just like this year's.
It was the worst Super Bowl I've ever viewed in my entire life.
It was terrible.
I would have been rather watching an award show for celebrities on movies based on politics than that fucking Super Bowl.
Oh, God. The Super Bowl this year was pretty bad. The year the Seahawks beat the Broncos like 52-10, that was bad. There have been some really bad Super Bowls lately.
No scoring at all. Like I like feel that I should be paid my hourly wage for watching that because that was work.
Yep. And such bad football. Again, Jared Goff is the quarterback. Have any of us really been impressed with Jared Goff? He can throw it far. Like I said, Cooper Kupp has made him look great. Cooper Kupp is basically, you know how they say tight ends are quarterbacks' best friends because they get them out of sticky situations? Cooper Kupp got him out of every sticky situation that he ran into. So...
Yeah, and then now Stafford gets that weapon. And what kills me is the fact that they had Stafford and Megatron for so long. And it's like you can't do anything else.
I know.
Yeah, they just, like, I don't know how you can't build a better team around, like, a couple of clear-cut studs like that, especially when Megatron was in his full-on prime.
It never made any sense, and what gets me thinking about it is the fact that if anything summarizes how bad the organization is run in Detroit, that's it.
Yeah, and hopefully, their newer front office is better. I like what they got back for Stafford as far as getting 2 firsts and, moving on when they know that they really can't turn it around this year and they can't give him a window to win. So you're getting something back. You're giving him an opportunity. That looks good for you. That makes everybody happy, and you got some draft capital. So I definitely think, and I guess you kick the tires on Goff. I personally wouldn't have taken Goff back, but at least you still got 3 picks as well.
Well, you also have even if the season doesn't break down the way that you expect it to, you at least have a serviceable quarterback. You're not sitting there holding the bag with a backup.
Yeah, and hopefully that helps Hockenson, really take the next step because he looks like he's emerging. And Goff certainly isn't afraid to throw to the tight end. So you help develop Hawk. You maybe give Kenny Golladay a reason to stay and not have a back injury the whole season if you tag him.
And you also lean on Swift a little bit.
Yeah, and
allow him to be the back.
Beast.
I hope so. Because I got a really nice DeAndre Swift football card that can sell for quite a pretty penny if he plays well.
Oh, he's going to be a beast. I wish I